Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Making Sales Social Live. I'm Bob Woods, the LinkedIn Sherpa, and I'm joined as always by the LinkedIn Whisperer, Bryn Tillman. How you doing today, Bryn?
Good, Bob. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. Looking forward to talking about a subject that doesn't get a lot of love out there when you talk about LinkedIn, but is very important. Welcome to Making Sales Social Live, as we share LinkedIn and social selling training, strategies, and tips that will have an immediate impact on your business. Join Bryn Tillman and me, Bob Woods, every week. Making Sales Social Live. So we do discuss a lot, and I mean a lot, about how you can generate the old know, like, and trust that so many of us in sales want from our prospect and clients from our LinkedIn profiles. So with our profiles, know, like, and trust directly comes from our profiles attracting, teaching, and engaging them. So all this builds what we call social proof for both yourself and your offerings. There's another place in the profile, though, that really seals the deal for you when it comes to proving that people really should work with you and even should want to work with you. That's in the recommendations section. So, Bren, let's talk a little more about how that works.
So you are 100% right in that this is totally under leveraged.
Yes.
LinkedIn recommendations. I'm going to start with kind of the story I often tell when we're training around recommendations is yes, this is social proof, but it can also help reduce your sales cycle. So, if by chance you are in a situation, which I find myself in often in a competitive sales conversation, that they may say to you, I just would love to talk with a couple of your clients before I commit. And back before we did this process with recommendations on LinkedIn, it would elongate the sales process. It might be days, if not weeks, before our clients got on a call with our prospects. And every single time our clients had to take that call, it was putting them out, even though they were happy to help us. It was a lot. So when you have these LinkedIn recommendations, and now when someone says, I'd love to talk with one of your clients or some of your clients, I just quickly say, go check out my LinkedIn recommendations, read through those. If there's someone there that you still want to have a conversation with, let me know. I'm happy to connect you. And what typically happens when they've now seen 8, 10, 12 recommendations, that they don't need to have a conversation. It's enough.
Yeah.
They know that if they get up on a call with these people, they're going to say the same thing. So it can reduce that sales cycle. It also builds confidence in their decision to bring you on, to hire you or bring you on.
All of which are very important. And, so we have social proof and also shortening the sales cycle, which is really too bad that we don't talk about more about this, because we, meaning everyone, not just us, that we don't talk enough about this, because it can be just as important as a well-built about section, as a finely tuned headline and all that stuff too. So recommendations are definitely important. And so let's talk first, Bren, about let's flip the script a little bit, how to actually give recommendations.
Yeah. So actually, let's just quickly, if you don't mind, we're going to answer. Stephen Farber has a quick question that's come in. That's, are non-client recommendations okay, useful? Very, if you've brought value. So, and it depends, and this is going to piggyback on what Bob asked me as well. But the non-client, if you were easy to work with, if you're a great referral partner, if this shows, some good that you've done in the world, right? Maybe you did a webinar for a chamber, and they may not have paid you for it, but you brought value to their membership. All of those are very, very valuable. Before we get to some other questions that are coming in, which is awesome, I'm going to answer your question, which is, it's not just about getting recommendations, it's about giving them. So clearly, we want to give these to our vendors, the people we buy from, but we also want to give these to coworkers and our clients. And this is one that very few people do. There's two reasons. Number one, when you're working with a client, especially inside of an organization, and you give them a recommendation that they were amazing to work with, the value that they brought to the table, that's awesome. But here's kind of the bonus is now your face and your name is on their profile and you're talking about how you work together. So if you started to give your buyers recommendations, it also gives you more exposure.
Very nice. So flip it again and talk about not only receiving them just in general, but who who to ask when it comes to get recommendations in for yourself.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. Then we're going to get to Don King's question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who do you ask? We have obviously our clients, but often there's more than just one buyer inside of a client, a company. So if you've worked with 2 or 3 people inside of a company closely, you can actually get more than one recommendation from that organization. You can ask your vendors if they really like working with you, your centers of influence. So if someone says to you, you made an introduction to me that turned into business and I really appreciate that, ask for them to write that in a recommendation. It all brings value to your profile and it helps other people get to know you. Who else should we ask? Did I miss someone? Probably.
Yeah, nothing I can really think of. So I mean, when it comes to asking, definitely, people you have worked with, as Bryn said, in some fashion. And then if someone who heard you like in a speech or something like that, I mean, you obviously can't go out and poll everyone in the audience to ask for a recommendation on that. But obviously, if someone says, "Hey, I liked your stuff so much when you were speaking, I want to write a recommendation for you," absolutely, take it.
I love that. That just reminded me. If you read a book that someone wrote and you love it, if you listen to a podcast interview or you love a podcast host, these are all opportunities.
That's a thing.
Yeah, right. So, if you read a book, people love and do it on Amazon as well. They,
Mhm.
if you love the podcast, do it on your favorite podcast platform as well, but write it in LinkedIn and you're really going to connect with them and you're really going to stand out.
Yep.
So, and
Let's
if,
get
if
Don's
you,
question out.
yeah, and if you've been interviewed, you can,
Yes. Oh,
you can recommend the host. And then if you interviewed someone, you can recommend to the person you've interviewed. So I love this. So,
that's great.
so Don King, is it easier to connect them to people on LinkedIn instead of having to set up a phone call? In other words, can they click on the person who made the recommendation and send them a message, or would you have to connect them? That is a fabulous question. So I'm just going to reduce that question to when you send them to LinkedIn, they can click through to that recommendation and they get to their live profile. So they can absolutely engage with them directly. They can connect with them directly. You wouldn't know that they're doing it, and that's okay because these are people that wrote you recommendation. They're going to say nice things, but you can also offer, if there's someone that is on this list that you'd like me to introduce you to, let me know. You can't control whether or not they reach out directly. They certainly can, but I think that was a great question.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think Billy wrapped it up well. Recommendations are an excellent way to leveraging your great reputation and brand on LinkedIn. And in fact, it was so good that Stephen Farber agreed with it. So, and Stephen does know what he's talking about. So yeah, and we definitely agree with all of that as well.
So let's kind of bring this in for a landing.
Yeah,
Recommendations.
recommendations important, can be used in many different ways, but no matter which way you use them, they are all very important for you to build your brand, to have that social proof, to even expand your message into other people's profiles when you give a recommendation.
Mm.
And I ran out of stuff. Did I miss anything?
I don't know, but those were all good stuff. So this was way fun. What are we talking about next week?
Yeah, so next week, we're going to talk about converting lurkers into engagers. So that
Ooh.
should be a really good one because a lot of people out there lurk. Even I lurk sometimes too. It just
Oh
depends. But I
yeah.
mean, there are ways that you can convert those people into engagers, and then if there's someone you can do business with, then hopefully get a sales conversation
Yeah,
started
and
rather with
and
them.
and exactly your point. We can't get a conversation or start a conversation with someone that we don't know who they are. So if they're just hanging out until they like, comment, share, connect, we can't start a conversation, right? So we need
Yep.
to do that. So that's exciting.
Looking
Awesome.
forward to it. So thanks again for joining us on Making Sales Social Live. If you're with us live on LinkedIn right now, we do this every week, so keep an eye out for our live sessions. If you're listening to us on our podcast, haven't subscribed yet, why not? Hit that subscribe or follow button to access all of our previous shows and be alerted when new ones drop. Now, we do 2 shows weekly. This one, Making Sales Social Live, and our Making Sales Social interview series, where we talk with leaders and experts in sales, marketing, business, and many more areas. More info is at socialsaleslink.com/podcast, socialsaleslink.com/podcast. And when you're out and about, make sure that you're making your sales
Social.
excellent. We're getting that down really well. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hit subscribe now and click the notification bell to get the latest videos from Social Sales Link. Give this video a like and comment down below. Register for free resources at linkedinlibrary.com.